All right. So do you remember when it all fucking went down?
Yeah, how could you forget?
What was like your initial reaction?
Honestly, I just remember the build up, like, of the day that it happened. I remember, like, just sitting on Twitter all day, all day. And then I remember just getting the update um, saying that he was probably going to sign with the Leafs. And I think I was in the movies and I looked at my phone and I saw it and I actually screamed.
I literally didn't think it wasn't gonna happen until like that tweet hit, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Wow, this is really fucking happening."
I was very, very optimistic with it all. I think that's what, like, killed it a lot is that, like, all of the fans thought so, like, deeply that he
For
was
like a
going to sign
while
back.
too. Like we
Yeah,
thought for like there was never a moment like that we didn't think that he was coming back.
no, I agree.
It was
That's why, like, there's so much hatred towards him with the fan base.
it was really it felt like I mean I'm sure there are other guys, but I feel like there hasn't been a person booed like that in like a while.
I'm trying to think. I went to his first came back at the Collie,
Mm-hmm.
and
Where were you sitting?
then
Do you remember?
I was the first time I've seen him twice since he's played at the Collie. I think he's only played twice back at the Collie. I'm not too sure.
Maybe three
Um,
times. I think he
yeah,
played twice, like the first year and then once this year
yeah.
or something like that.
Um, I know that I've been to. I'm pretty sure all of them, at least two. Um, the first year, my brother had the season tickets, center, center ice, last row. So I know that we were up there the first time, and then the second time, we actually didn't even sit in our seats. You know the like the area behind the 100 section.
Mm, yeah, yeah, like that
We
little.
When they like reopen the collie, they even still they don't really enforce you like not being able to even just stand there.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle has season tickets in the 100 section, so he's like close with the ticket guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of just stood there, and I just remember literally the place just shaking. It was insane.
It's the best games. It's some. I think it's. I went to a playoff game against
Hmm.
Penguins back in like 2013 or something like that,
Hmm.
and it was the game after he had like that atrocious dive, which then like the next play, he like skated through like two Islanders and scored, and we were like,
Crosby,
the fuck. And
Crosby,
then
right?
yeah,
I was
and
at that game.
I was at the game whenever he came back, and I don't. I think I mean maybe it was because I was younger.
Hmm.
But by the end of the second period for the first return of John Tavares, like I was mentally and physically like worn the fuck out. Like I sat down and just caught my breath the entire like second
Yeah,
intermission. That place was
it's
fucking going.
it's crazy though. I forget exactly what the score was the first time that we played them. When he came back,
When he
I don't
came
think it.
back, it was 6-1.
Yeah, and then we went to Toronto. That's when Barzal got the hat trick.
Yeah, we went to them first, and then
Hmm.
Barzal fucking washed them in their own home.
I remember that's what has made it like so much sweeter. I think too. Why like a lot of fans have kind of forgotten about it. Not forgotten, but taken it easier because we've actually fared like pretty well against him.
Yeah,
Like, since everybody thought that when he left we were going to be in such a bad place, but we've actually exceeded expectations even with him. When we had him, we never had a season like the past two. Honestly, if you really think about it, him leaving was kind of like a kick in the ass for the organization.
it was, yeah. Because when
Like,
you have
look
a
at where
guy
we're
leave
at
like
now.
that,
Yeah, you kind of have to look at yourself and be like, a once in a generation type player left you.
and he left for fucking less money too, which is crazy.
less
Not like,
money.
I mean, half a mil is a lot per year too. Like,
No,
that's a significant amount of money. And some
especially
people
in
are like,
hockey.
oh, like taxes, and I'm like, fucking, you're gonna give me taxes, bro? Like Toronto,
Yeah,
it's fucking socialist there too. Like, you telling me the taxes there aren't gonna be ridiculous? But it's
that's
so
on my
nice
bucket
that
list.
that Barzy, and even like Barzy always balls out against him, Pavilion
Mhm.
always balls out against him, and then it's also like usually scores, Anders Lee usually scores, Eberle has like an assist, so it's like all your stars like come to play that night. Like
Yeah,
it is
all
full
your heart and soul
throttle
guys.
going.
Yeah,
So um, Jack was at that first game.
Jack,
Hemming.
Pep, Heimick, really?
Yeah, he was at that first game against Toronto, or like at Toronto.
That's right. Yeah, I
That shit
remember
was
that
crazy.
actually. My boy Scott was on that trip with him.
Oh shit. Oh
Actually, yeah.
yeah. That must have been crazy.
They said, I mean, besides the game, they said that everything else was crazy.
It's nice. It's more comforting too now,
Mm.
just 'cause like Barzal is nice and shit like that. But do you think that like, because now Barzy is getting like accordingly,
Hmm.
his traded stuff is coming up, so rumors are going to come out. But
Yeah,
he's more like he's getting frustrated in like this low scoring system where it's like mainly
yeah,
defense, which like Ovi did too, but Ovi was goal scorer, so he didn't have
yeah,
to make other people like great, which is
yeah,
more like what Barzal does. So maybe he's got a bigger body too, so he could kind of play that game.
yeah.
But do you think that was like a reason John Tavares might have left? Like, he's got this new coach coming in, a whole brand new organization. Like they're trying to move for like another time. Do you think he was like, fuck this?
Um, Honestly, I don't really know. I just know that um, Tavares and Capuano were like boys. Um, I'm pretty sure even well, I know that Garth Snow and Capuano actually lived like in his basement or something. Like one of yeah, they dead ass shared a house. I'm not even kidding. But I know that I don't think that it was because we fired Capuano. I mean, I don't think that Tavares thought that he was a better coach than Trotz because it's so false.
Yeah, it's not even close.
It's not even close.
With all respect to Jack Capuano too, but like it's
Yeah,
not even close.
no. Barry Trotz is probably he's top three coach in the league, if not one or two. I don't think that Tavares was pissed off at that. I what I still don't understand is why he had to say the kid who won the Calder rather than just like calling Barzy by his name.
And it's weird too. Like of all people to do something like that, that's like
The
a
captain,
that's like a Randy Moss type of move. Like
yeah,
he would maybe it was like whenever he left or To like leaving the Bills, he was like,
mm,
well, I'm not even gonna name them by their names. Like,
yeah,
fuck them, fuck that organization. But it was
yeah,
like John Tavares. Like this guy's like mad professional.
exactly. It's not like he had a feud with like the GM, who's the guy who's like paying him. Like it's a kid who just came into the league, like he
Yeah,
was doing good. And if like anything, Tavares should understand that. Like when he came into the league, like Martin and all these guys, like took them under their wing. Like the coaches and shit. So like he should have did the same with him.
yeah, he had
That's a
guys
question
above
that
him
I
and shit.
that they will never come out, but I'd love for them to like clarify on it, like why he did that, you know,
Like he's got
and
to
his
have media
relationship with
training
Barzy.
done. Like he's to the fucking book, man. And
Yeah,
it's like I don't know if it was like a
Barzal's
weird slip up or if
yeah
it was just like disrespectful.
all. No, I don't think that it was a slip up. To be honest,
I don't think
I
so
think
either,
that
but
yeah, I don't know why he did it because the way that I looked at it now was like I always looked at Tavares as like such a nice like guy, like a captain. But everything you read about Tavares now in Toronto is all about how he's never a leader. He's not a captain. Matthews is the captain. He's just a good player on a good team next to a better player.
I would have been so mad if I was Matthews. A guy came
Yeah,
in and like
Yeah.
Tavares realistically should have left somewhere and been stuck as the assistant captain, cause
Hmm.
like, yeah. And then you had
Yeah.
Matthews who came in, and it's like Tavares doesn't have a great like resume to him as a captain.
Yeah.
He's got one fucking series win, which is also an atonement to the Islanders. The Islanders also fucking suck.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't. You already have Matthews who's growing, and like he's obviously like your fucking guy. Like you drafted him. He's
Drafted
from.
from the yeah.
It's like oh the whole thing. He's a little bit younger, but like Tavares
And they
isn't
paid
like
him all that
old.
money too.
They've got their numbers. Their top four are pretty crazy. Their top four are like the Islanders like top seven paid players,
Hmm. Yeah.
which is something that I'm kind of like. I'm not happy that we're not paying John Tavares to be an Islander, but it's like now you have $11.5 million to go and do something
Yeah.
because we have plenty of deficits that we could fucking attest to. Because we got to re-sign Barzy right now, which is gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a fat contract, but I
Hmm.
feel like it's because he's a restricted free agent that really kind of fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Because now he can't just like listen to offers. The
That's
worst thing is that
another thing too. Me and my brother, we always talk about is we think, or at least he thinks a lot more than me, that Barzal's gonna leave.
it's hard. It's gonna be the Islanders are literally gonna match any offer sheet. So
Yeah.
I don't think he realistically can leave. I think he's just gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Like, cause
I
no
think
one's
that
gonna
he
offer him.
wants the Islanders to realize his worth. You know,
Yeah,
like you said, he knows that they're gonna match the contract, but it's kind of like with Tavares or like any big player or whatever who says, um, like I forget who, I think it was KD, whatever. He wouldn't say if he was gonna leave. He just said like I kind of want to know my worth around the league. Like I've never really hit free agency.
mm.
Like I just want to like some players they like to feel like wanted by other teams and know like that just how good they are.
Yeah. A
I don't think
comparison
that.
with that is Steven Stamkos the year before,
Hmm.
who like grew up with John Tavares and shit, had the
Yeah.
same fucking situation, and he was like, he was like, I'm
Yep.
probably gonna stay. He's like, I like it here, shit like that, whatever.
But I just want to know.
I just want to know how much I'm worth, and then I'll come
Hmm.
back to you guys. And then he just fucking waited it out, and I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I'll sign with you guys.
A lot of players I think do it too, just to like kind of have an upper hand on their contract negotiations too. You know, because
Yeah,
the Sharks gave Tavares at least on the table the most amount of money. I think
yeah. I think that
they
he
gave him a
took like two
ridiculous
mil
amount.
less a year to
Yeah.
be in Toronto, which
Hmm.
is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine fucking the Sharks right now with John Tavares. It'd be John Tavares and then Thomas Hurdle as their two centers.
What were his options? I know it was the Lightning, right? It was Toronto. It was the Bruins, I think. The Sharks. Um,
I know the final
there's
runners
another team.
were like the Sharks, Toronto, New York, and one other team.
I
I
think it
forgot
was
the
the
other team.
Bruins.
It might have been. I know I heard the Lightning going around, but I don't think that they
Yeah.
were like too serious,
Yeah.
unless he was gonna really like not get paid that much.
I forget exactly what the teams were. I know that it was definitely the Sharks, obviously Toronto. With Stamkos, they had to at least try to get to Tavares.
Imagine he went to the fucking Bruins.
No.
That actually would have been fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That would have been just stupid. That would have been
I
stupid for him too, being from Toronto, going to the Bruins.
yeah.
That would have
I
been. I would have been like,
seriously
man,
think
come on.
that if Toronto didn't have the money to sign him, like if they just weren't able to or whatever, he definitely would have stayed with us. I think it was kind of just like they're giving me the same amount of money. It's his hometown and everything.
Yeah, it's a
Like I said, it's a thing that looking back on it now, like when it first happened, everybody hated him, but it kind of pisses me off going to the Collie and just everywhere and hearing people like talk shit about Tavares because obviously everybody hates him. I fucking hate him too,
yeah.
but it's like your organization is in such a better place and you don't have that money tied up. We've made two playoffs without Tavares, right?
Yeah, made it. Well, I think it's just one. It's like one
The,
almost two.
yeah.
Because it was last year and then we got this year.
Did we have them against? Yeah, we did. The Panther, right? We played the Panthers and then we lost to the Caps.
Yeah, we played the Panthers. I think we lost to the Lightning. I don't even know. No, it might have been the Caps. I forgot. But
Trying to think.
the Caps, I think, was the year before that.
Yeah,
We lost in 7 games in the first round. And then we played, and then the next year was the Panthers, 1-6, and then I think we just got fucking washed by the Lightning.
yeah,
The
yeah.
thing
I'm pretty
about
sure
that
we lost
team,
4-1.
both those teams were like, whoever won was losing to the Lightning.
Yeah,
Like, so, well, I don't want to take away from my own team's victory, but like, and
yeah,
thank God that we won that series, because if we lost to the Panthers don't even have fans.
yeah,
Like, that would have looked fucking bad.
yeah.
How do you? I mean, it is a nice feeling too, having last year's postseason, them being
Hmm.
losing again in the first round, even with Tavares.
Yeah,
That was like, and that must have been a bite in the ass for fucking Toronto fans, because it's like, now you have this guy comes in, he's your new fucking captain,
championship.
and he
Yeah,
still can't even. You're in the same exact spot as you were last year with
yep.
all this fucking money, and it's like
They
they'll get better, but like how much and what's it worth?
yeah, Toronto will still be good. They're always going to be good with Matthews and Tavares at the top. But the Toronto, they made it right, and then they got swept in the first round. I think last year
Nah, last year they went to 7 games against Boston for like the
they
third
did.
year in a row. Yeah, and then they blew. I think they blew the lead in the 7th game.
Toronto
Yeah,
last year, I'm pretty sure we made it further than them.
we did. Yeah. Oh, we went the first series where we swept and then got swept
I don't know.
because it was the first round against fuck again. Oh, the Penguins. We swept the
Yeah,
Penguins,
yeah, and then we
and then
got
we got
swept.
swept by the Hurricanes, and then the
Yeah,
Hurricanes got swept by the Bruins, and then the Bruins lost in like 5 or 6 against the Blues,
yeah,
which is a weird like transition.
it is.
It's like the weirdest
Last
I've ever
postseason
fucking
was
seen.
crazy. The
It was
past
fucking
couple have been
crazy.
crazy. The past like 3 years, it's been the Lightning, like insane, and the Capitals. Lightning and the Capitals, but like everybody has always said that the Lightning, like just with their scoring, they're supposed to be just ridiculous.
Yeah, they have a good goaltender too, and Victor
They
Hedman in
lost
their
in the first
defense. They
round,
got McDonough.
like 2 years ago, I believe, or something.
What's that?
Didn't the Lightning lose in the first round?
Yeah, they got swept last year against Columbus. They had
Yep.
like 128 points.
Yeah,
It was like
that's right.
being.
Yeah,
It was almost like being the fucking 73 win,
yeah.
uh, Warriors,
Warriors
and then just like not
losing in the
fucking
first
winning.
round. Yeah,
Trash. Which is, it's crazy too, because that Blues team sold everything to get to where they were,
yeah.
and it was like they kept Panarin, they traded for I think Dzingel, and they traded for fucking someone else.
Hmm.
They kept Vasilevsky. Well, if they traded all that shit, if they didn't give away all those picks and they traded away Panarin and fucking Vasilevsky, they would have fucking hauled in. Because what I think
Yeah.
about sometimes too is what the fucking Islanders would have got if Tavares said, "Yeah, trade me."
Hmm.
Imagine what the Islanders would have gotten: a first and like a third round pick and like 2 prospects,
Yeah.
which puts us in, because that's the thing that we're kind of struggling with now, because we got to get rid of this fucking. What I think we're gonna end up doing is get rid of the Nicoletti contract,
Mm.
and that would have been so much nicer to have done and not worried about getting back picks. But now we have to, because we're just like we're super limited, and I think we just gave
Yeah.
away a couple picks for fucking Peugeot.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that we gave away a pick for him. The contract that's killing us, I think, is obviously Lad.
Lad, yeah. Boychuk too.
Yeah.
Boychuk is getting 6, and he's like always getting hurt and shit. And
Yeah.
I mean he's good, and I think I'll get into some pairs that I think are gonna happen next year in a
Mm.
little bit. But it's tough to make these caps hit, because it's a lot of players getting paid like mid-range money,
Hmm.
because they're all like decent players. But the thing that I guess we're missing is like the fucking Pippen to fucking MJ or
Jordan,
like
yeah,
Kyrie and fucking LeBron. Like we need that second, which would have been fucking perfect if it was Tavares and Barzy going down at center, and then you got
yeah.
Brock as a third, and then fucking Zeker as the fourth.
What would
Imagine
have been
those four were your
even better?
centers.
What would have been even better is Panarin with Barzy.
Panarin with Barzy would have been fucking crazy too.
It it would have been better than him and Tavares.
Some
Even
I
though
I would have
Tavares
taken.
is like a 25, 30 goal scorer, sometimes more, Panarin is top five in the league. Top
It's
10, definitely.
it's hard to compare. John Tavares he has such a clutch gene that I
Yeah,
just don't. That's like so that kind of bumps up his stock worth. Like if
yeah.
you look at like when you think about that MJ to fucking LeBron category, it's like
Mhm.
the thing that people are always like at the end of the day to like, but the clutch gene, and that just bumps Jordan so far up. It's like when he's there to win, he wins, and that's like
Yeah.
something John Tavares has. I don't want to say that Panarin doesn't, but it's like
You just haven't seen it,
yeah.
at least.
And I mean, we already had John Tavares, so it would have been a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Would you rather had paid Panarin whatever he's getting, like 12, say it's 12 million a year
Yeah,
instead of,
Tavares money. Yeah.
or instead of Lee, because that was kind of the
That's hard.
Lee's making 7 a year, or you could not sign Brock and Eberle and keep Lee. It's tough.
I love Lee. I think that he's actually like a great captain. He is. Like you can just tell that the players gather around him. Like he's another heart and soul guy that you have on your team. Like Sezikis is, you know. Um, and I like Brock. I really like Eberle, but I would have rathered signed Panarin.
I think I would take Panarin over Lee, just because like the 5 mil is a lot, and it would make stuff extremely difficult.
Yeah,
But it's hard to have Lee's obviously. I don't want to say that he's struggling without John Tavares,
yeah,
but it's not as easy for him without him because
yeah.
it's either someone else has to come up, who I think might one day be Bellows
Hmm.
potentially, a guy who can put the puck in the net and still kind of create some action. So
Yeah,
I think having those two big guys with like a playmaker, maybe Bailey, and
yeah.
that being a line, I think that could be something down the
I
line.
yeah. No, I mean we do have a good amount of prospects coming up. So if you do look at it, I mean Panarin is still what? How old is he? Is he
He's pretty
27,
young.
28,
Yeah, he's about like
26?
27.
Yeah. Um, I mean, he's still young, but like you said, to pay that guy that kind of amount of money, it would have been ridiculous. But he is a great, great player. But the way that the Islanders are set up right now, they're going to have a bunch of young players. They just signed a bunch of their core guys. I mean, you have Sezikis
Yeah,
locked
which is
up. You
huge.
got Brock signed. You got Eberle signed. You got Pajot now. Um, Barzell, hopefully, he'll sign. We got that goalie coming up, Sorokin.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Um,
That'll
and then
help
we
us
got,
out so much too.
yeah, we got Bellows coming up, Wallstrom. Um, who's the other guy? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Wallstrom, Holstrom, they got kind of like the same names.
Yeah, I know it's Wallstrom,
You got some good defense. That's the thing. We have
Bellows.
a couple. This kid Bode Wild. We drafted
Hmm.
him like last year or
I know
whatever.
about him. Yeah.
He should be pretty good. So we
Hmm.
already have a decent amount of defensemen that we don't even spend that much
Our
money on.
defensemen are extremely young,
Yeah, they
and
are
they're
pretty.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I don't think Martin's gonna come back.
No, I think that the Islanders are done with him. You have Ross Johnson. I love Martin. He's just like one of those guys that is like loves to be an Islander,
Yeah,
but I think his time's over. Like I said, we have Ross Johnson, um, just that type of body, that big guy that's physical. along the boards.
Yeah, it's good to have someone there that can be like structural, like plays the
Hmm.
game hard. But it's like, how many guys are we gonna have that do that? Like, we got
Yeah.
fucking Leo, Dow Cole, Ross,
Hmm.
Matt Martin. Like, I mean, you could
Yeah.
put
You don't
fucking
need that much.
Cal Clutterbuck in that category
Oh
sometimes.
yeah, definitely.
It's like, all right, we got enough, bro.
The
Like, we
whole
need some
fourth
more
line
talent.
is that type of thing. Zizekas though is by far more than that. Whereas obviously you look at Martin, he's I would say offensively challenged,
Yeah.
to say the least. Clutterbuck at least has a nice wrist shot, but Zizekas is on a different level than those two guys.
And then I think Brassard, Kunackle, Andy Green are all gone, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine with. I don't even think that really matters all that much.
No,
And
Brassard
then,
actually played pretty well for us this year, though.
yeah, he was
At least to
pretty good.
begin the year.
I was happy that we signed him because he's a
Yeah.
guy who just has experience
Mm-hmm.
overall, and he's already been like in this area before, so at least
Yeah.
he had like some type of like structure already. And
Exactly.
it was nice to have someone come in and actually like know how to play hockey. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like you had to fucking teach this young kid that doesn't know shit, aka
Yeah.
fucking Josh Hosang. And then Thomas Grice is gone. I'm fine with that. It was nice like
Yeah.
while it lasted,
Yeah.
because he did do like some pretty decent things at times.
Mm-hmm.
Some like, I mean, more than exceptional. He won that fucking playoff series. It was
Yeah.
him and John Tavares.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of glad to see him phase out because we need like higher tier goaltenders
Yeah.
at this point. And then restricted free agents are Barzy, Pulak, and Taze. I think
All
Barzy
of them need to
signs.
get paid.
They need to. They need to. I mean, Taze. I don't think it's gonna get paid too much, and I think he'll
Mm-hmm.
be shorter term, kind of like Scott
Mm-hmm.
Mayfield got like a 1.5 for 2 years. I think Taze
Mm-hmm.
will get like 2 for 2, or
Yeah.
maybe like a little bit more, but I think
Yeah.
right around that 2 range. I think Pulak is gonna get. It's tough to, cause they're all restricted free agents, so they
Yeah.
can't go anywhere else. So I could see him signing for like a low, like 3.5, but I feel like his cap is like 4.5. I feel like
Yeah.
somewhere in that range, he'll be good.
Pellick and Pulak are a top line defense.
Oh yeah,
They're easily a number one defense pair.
we went down the shitter when Pellet got hurt.
Oh yeah,
Like that
easily.
was it.
Easily.
I was like, I can't believe how much like our defense has changed, and even putting in Andy Green, like
Yeah.
did it help? Yeah, it definitely helped, but like it wasn't even the same. Like
Yeah.
wasn't even close. It was fucking rough. It still is fucking rough.
Yeah.
And then I think I've heard two different things. Obviously, either you max out Barzal's contract,
Hmm.
or you give him an intermediate contract, which will probably be a 4 year, because that's when you have fat contracts like Lad, Boychuk
Hmm.
are gone. I think Cal Clutterbucks will be gone, which is 3.5.
Hmm.
He's not getting paid for that same amount, at least. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's gonna come back, but he's not getting 3.5.
No.
Um, so you'll have some more cap space moving. That the roster is probably gonna look a lot different by that time.
Yeah.
But that's when you could like throw him like a max contract, or he could just fucking walk and find a max contract. Because at that point, again, it's just he has, which is fucking weird. Like as a restricted free agent, it's almost like you have no right to go anywhere else.
Hmm.
But teams can like offer sheet you to like bump you up, but I don't know how that works with like an agent and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if he was an unrestricted free agent, he could get paid like 8.5 million. But since he's a restricted free agent, I think he's gonna get like 6.5. That's kind of what I've been seeing guys get
Hmm.
paid.
Yeah.
I I feel like that's a ripoff.
It is.
But they drafted you. I guess they kind of give it to you.
That usually is what happens though. Whenever you get drafted by a team, I mean, as long as if you actually perform, they like to keep you around.
Yeah, and that kid fucking performs, man. He's so good looking too. It's like astonishing.
Yeah.
He is such a handsome human being. Way better looking than John Tavares, bro.
Hmm.
John Tavares was not an appealing guy. Like, you didn't want to put him on newspapers, nothing,
No.
bro. That's why his best photo is him on his knees with like his hands up, and it's the back of him, bro. It's not the front of him. The fuck? No one wants to see that ugly ass face.
Barzal to me reminds me he kind of looks like Crosby almost a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah, he
Just his whole demeanor and everything.
yeah, he's got like a nice like bite to him. Like he's
Mm,
not a little bitch. Like he's like out here to fucking
bro, he's a
do
feisty
shit.
fuck.
And I like it. I feel like it fits the Islanders better
He's
too.
he's an idiot though. With if there's one area where I think Barzal needs to really, really, actually not one, if we're getting into it. Everybody says that he needs to shoot more. I agree.
Yeah,
Especially with the state that the Islanders have with goal scoring. You
it's
know, if
rough.
you're our best player, you need to. And I feel like everybody kind of knows that he's just going to skate around trying to, make something happen. If he threw more pucks at the net, especially with our guys around the net like Lee, I think it would actually help him out a lot more and make the team better. Obviously, defense, which Trotz has helped him with, it definitely has gotten better. But it's the stupid penalties that he takes. At
They're the
least
worst.
once a game, I feel like in crucial moments, he'll take a fucking slashing penalty.
It hurts to
Because some
watch.
guy like before 2 minutes before him, um, like pushed him or something. Because he's a tiny guy. He's a
Yeah,
smaller
he's
player.
it would be I mean, he is pretty like he's short, but like he's
He
like
is built.
stocky for
Yeah,
like a hockey player. It's
yeah,
kind of hard to be like super brolic if you're going to be like a fast dude, but
yeah.
he is fairly well
He
built
could
for
hold
like
his
a
own.
small maneuverous guy.
That was a lot of things that everybody said when what do you call it, when we drafted him. That he was a skilled player, but his build, it was going to take him a couple of years to get ready for the NHL. Start working out and getting his body ready to take up with the speed and the strength of NHL players. But
Which was
so
crazy. It took
far,
no
yeah.
time
I
at
mean,
all.
he's been healthy,
He fucking
thank
took
God.
off.
I don't actually think that Barzal has been hurt for long at all.
Not really. God bless. Knock on
Maybe like a
fucking
week.
wood, man.
Yeah, literally. That's another thing that the Islanders are screwed with. Fucking health.
I don't know if we're screwed with it this year or just last year. We were like blessed because the
Hmm.
year before we really didn't suffer too many injuries. I really couldn't name you,
Yeah,
but this year it's like we got fucking Pulak gets hurt, Clutterbuck's out, Zizekas is out,
I like.
Pellick,
Uh,
got guys coming in and out of the lineup, and there's no consistency off the bench.
yeah.
It's the silver lining is like guys like Wallstrom and Holstrom and
Hmm.
Bellows all get like real time like live experience.
Yeah.
So then when they come in, hopefully next year they'll be almost full time players.
They'll get a very very good shot to show what they have.
Hmm.
Because I mean, obviously they did already last year. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him up. I mean, Bellows had a sick year. You know.
Yeah, he can put the puck in the net. I think
Yeah.
working with Lad in the AHL was like a
Yeah.
big thing
Mhm.
because having someone down there that's won like two Stanley Cups, it's like
Yeah.
it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I don't even know what our lines are at this point. But I think
They're always changing. That's the thing.
it's been pretty rough this year. At least
Yeah.
last year we had some consistency, but now it's like no one can put the fucking puck in the net.
Yeah.
But I think next year, I think we'll have Barzy centering. Like I said, Bailey and Lee, but like who fucking knows? And then I think the second line will be Nelson, Bayou, and Eberle. Again, like who fucking knows? I think that six, besides either Bailey and Bayou,
Mhm.
could like shift around.
Yeah.
And then it's nice to have Peugeot as like a third line center and not like some fucking Joe Schmo off the fucking street.
Yeah.
And I see him working with Bellows, and just because we fucking have him is Leo.
Mm.
I'm not huge about the Leo contract, but
Yeah.
I get it for like a staple, like first couple years of the regime. Like you got to put a guy in to set like a mood.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Lad get in that third line left
Mhm.
wing. Like, fuck it, man. Especially if it's just Peugeot. I mean, I know he can score goals, and I know Bellows could probably score goals,
Yeah.
and I know Lad can put the puck in the net. So like anything that Leo brings, Lad could also bring.
I think that Lad just coming to Brooklyn during his first year after we signed him was just a big like change for it. It's completely fucking different. Um, so I just think that he didn't adjust well to it, and then he's been hurt a lot too.
Yeah, it's been stuff that like you can't even control. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure he would have done just fine,
yeah,
but it's just rough like being fucking hurt all the time, like
yeah,
not really getting into your groove, and then when you maybe get like 2 goals, it's like, all right, now I'm out for the season. It's like,
yeah.
fuck, man.
What contract? Do you know his contract exactly? I think it's like 6 or 7 years for like 7 million a year.
His contract is 5.5 for I think it was 7 years. It was so he's done the same time Boychuk and Letty are done,
Yeah.
which is like 3 years from now.
Okay.
I think I think Letty has to go. I don't think Letty comes back next year.
It's sad with him
He
because he can be such a good player, but I feel like the way that he plays, he's not a defenseman.
he moves the puck very well and he can get up the ice. But like with the guys we have, like with Barzy, Bayu,
Yeah.
fucking Eberly, like we have guys who can Zizekas too. Like we got guys who can motor and get up the ice. Like
Yeah.
and then you have guys coming up like Dobson, like younger
Mhm.
defensemen who need a spot to play.
That's a
And it's
guy I forgot
like
about before.
and you need a guy like that and he is a fucking speedy guy. It's
Mhm.
like you could get a younger guy in a class of I mean, you could throw him with a couple of guys who have like at least 2, 3 years experience.
Yeah.
So he won't be like playing with a bunch of Joe Schmoes. And then you get rid of like a fat contract.
Yeah.
And I think you have to do that to sign Barzy. Because if we don't, we have 12.6 million
Mhm.
to sign a goaltender, Sorokin, who's probably going to get paid 2.3 million a year. That's about what like the entry contracts are
Yeah.
for guys who sign 3 year deals. We got Pulak who can make like four-ish, Tays who can
He's
make
gonna make a
two,
good amount of money.
and
Pulak.
then if you're cutting Barzy short, you give him 6.5 for 4 years. So already that's like cutting it pretty close.
Yeah.
So I think you get rid of that fucking Nick Leddy contract because he's the only guy that has like him compared to Boychuk. Boychuk doesn't have like the value that Nick Leddy has. Nick Leddy
Not at
has
all. Yeah.
he's got real value. He stays on the ice. I
Yeah.
mean, he is also Stanley Cup champ. He's been
Class
playing for a
act.
while. He's a fast dude who plays well in this league.
Mhm.
And he's not a horrible defenseman. Like if you're looking for Kevin Shattenkirk and you can't get
Yeah.
him, get Nick Leddy. Like
Yeah. The thing about Letty is he'll never wow you with anything unless it's like offensively just skating around guys to bring them into the zone.
mhm.
But other than that, he's never going to be a 12 to 15 goal scorer or whatever.
You could
He's
see
just a
him. It depends on the system, but
yeah.
it's like you could get offensive productive from him,
He could easily. It's just our system. Our system, we're dump and chase
and he's not
type of
perfect
thing.
for that too.
Yeah.
Like
If Trotz actually let him not push the pace because he does, but carry it into the zone and then try to work something to get it back to him, he could easily do it. He's an offensive defenseman.
yeah, it's like I mean almost like the same thing that Barzal probably suffers from. It's
Hmm.
like I can push the pace, like I can get in the zone, like I can really play like this fucking. But it's like there's a certain speed that we play at. Not that it's
Yeah,
slow and not that it's like super fast, but it's like it's just like we hit cruise control and
yeah,
like from the day one to whenever we get knocked out of the season, it's like that's the pace we play.
yeah.
And it's just it doesn't suit either player all that well. So and I think that, throw him on a team like fucking Edmonton or like the Rangers or something
Hmm.
like that. Like a team that can fucking put the puck in the net and like push and shit, who doesn't need like that number one. I mean, this kid Adam Fox for the fucking Rangers looks sick.
Hmm.
He looks fucking
I
awesome.
haven't even heard of it honestly.
He's been fucking killing it. He's probably won't win Rookie of the Year, but he'll probably come in like third.
Hmm.
The guy from Colorado, I forget his name, like Cole Maker or some shit like that.
Hmm.
He's fucking sick. He's been fucking killing it.
Yeah,
But I think it'll be, I don't know, like Boychuk and Dobson, Pulak Pellick, and then Taze and Mayfield. And then you'll have like the younger guys kind of coming in. Leo around that mix.
yeah. Yeah, I think that Boychuk with Thompson would be good. Just a veteran with a younger player coming in.
Hmm.
It's always good. It's something that fans don't realize. Like they realize it because they say, everybody always will agree that you need veteran presence on a team, but you don't actually understand why. But it always seems like even the players always say.
And it
I know.
helps.
Yeah, they did a like a questionnaire thing. I know the Islanders did over this what just happened um, over this break or whatever, and they were asking like all the Islanders players a bunch of different questions, and one of the things was if you got yourself into trouble, like who's the first player that you would call? And I think it was like 97% of the team all said Leo Komarov. I think it was I forget who it was. One person said that they would call Lou Lamoriello, and I was like, if you're in trouble, why the fuck would you call your GM? Like, that's the guy that pays you and can like suspend you. But it's funny, like you don't realize that. I know a bunch of shit just from reading about everything. I forget who it was though. Somebody's like lives right down the block from Boychuk. Um, I forget exactly who it is, but they were saying how they always like ride together. They like go over for like Christmas and holidays and shit. Like their families are very, very close. So it's
Yeah, I
one of
mean,
those things that you just don't realize as like a fan, but like a veteran presence really does help.
yeah, that core guys, like which is weird because Tavares was literally in that core guys. It was like Tavares, Lee,
Mm-hmm.
Bailey, fucking Brock Nelson,
Cizikas,
Zizekas,
yep,
Martin were all like
Clutterbuck.
getting married, like having kids, like
Mm-hmm.
moving in like right around each other. And I mean, I understand that they're not all gonna live there forever, but
Yeah,
it was kind of like of all like the situations that you had built to for yourself, like there was a place at the peak, and then you were like, nah, fuck it, like I'm gonna
yeah,
just move back home.
yeah.
It was I heard it was because his wife, and I don't know anything about his
Who
wife, but
Tavares?
yeah, her his wife was like, let's not go there. And I heard the same thing about fucking Panarin. I heard his girlfriend was like, or wife, fiance,
Mm-hmm.
whoever the fuck, female companion. I heard she was like, nah, let's go to the fucking city. Like you don't want to play on Long Island, because I
Really?
think I heard he was leaning towards the Islanders, and then it was like that was like the last minute like cut.
Fucking women, man.
Facts, man.
They could have made us so happy.
There's gonna be a 30 for 30 one day. Like why women killed the Islanders.
No, I see. It's so hard to believe though because obviously living here our entire lives and like even traveling to all these places, like or people who come from whatever. I have family in upstate New York. They come here and they fucking love it. Nobody ever wants to leave. And I know players. Boychuk. I know he said when he signed his contract here, he said I couldn't think of like a better place to want to settle down and like grow up my kids and everything. He's like, you live 10 minutes from the beach, an hour from the city, the good schools and everything. Like all the Islanders. That's what's changed with Islanders is that you're starting to see players, good players, actually want to come here, and when they come here, they want to stay. Besides the Tavares thing,
Yeah, I
but how
mean,
often does that happen in hockey, especially?
yeah. Yeah, usually, I mean, 'cause that's what we were all thinking, like, when that had happened. But I guess Tavares took a little fucking note from some NBA guys and was
Mm,
like, I'm gonna just leave, fuck this franchise.
yeah,
But it is nice, like, 'cause as much as I shit on Long Island for, like, its traffic and, like,
yeah,
it just being fucking stupid, like, places closing at, like, fucking 9 o'clock at night,
yeah,
it's like, you are right near the city. And at that point, I would hope if you're in the NHL, like, you're budgeting your money enough where you can go into the city and, like, hang out sometimes.
yeah,
And you have, especially if you're growing like a family, like there's really no better place to be than like on Long Island.
yeah.
Like there's
A lot
really
of
no.
players have like houses in the Hamptons and shit too.
Yeah, they'll be in the
Like,
Hamptons, they'll be in
yeah,
like Huntington and like private places.
mm-hmm.
Like some places
Suffolk,
like yeah, patched out on like the North Shore and like fucking especially the Hamptons.
yeah,
That's just a trip, like especially if you're going to Brooklyn. Like oh my
mm-hmm.
god, man, that's a
Yeah.
fucking trip. I would not be making that.
I just I don't know. I don't get why he. I get why he left, but he's such a fucking asshole.
He is. I don't.
I hated my life for like a solid month and a half
I
after
still,
that.
to this day, I don't answer anybody, but I'll comment the snake for everything he's posted on.
Mm,
Especially following TSN on fucking Instagram.
mm,
Every single time, I'm just like, I just throw the one snake emoji and I just leave it. And every single time, people just replying with fucking salt shakers, salt
mm.
shakers, salt shakers. I'm like, I don't even care, bro. Like, I just let it be known.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
Who do you think will have a better career, Tavares or Barzal?
It's tough because it's literally like comparing like Crosby and Ovechkin type players.
Yeah,
It's like a guy who's more goal scoring and kind of creates for himself, or it's the creator. Who would
yeah.
I rather think have on my team and for that time? I don't know. Fuck.
See, it's hard to say though too because when Tavares left or whatever, what the whole reason why we're saying it is because Tavares is in the prime of his career. Like,
Yeah.
he just got paid. Barzal, we haven't really seen his best numbers are yet to come.
I think if he continues on the path that he's going, he fits the league in a much better way.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe goal scoring, I think Tavares takes the cake, but I think in every other category,
Barzal.
shorthanded goals, fucking
Yeah.
like shootouts, I definitely shootouts, bro. If I could, I'd bet
Oh
I
yeah.
would bet my life that fucking like Ross Johnson has a better shootout percentage than fucking John Tavares, bro. That guy fucking sucked.
I actually don't understand it. As a
It was
player that has that
ridiculous.
much skill and puck handling ability as Tavares does in shot, I it's it's nauseating.
It's the same fucking move, and
He
every single goaltender is just like, all right, he's just gonna do this, and then wait till the last second,
he
and then
goes
he's just
about
gonna shoot it into my chest.
I swear like I don't even know how to skate. I've never played hockey in my life. I think that I could skate faster than that man
He gets,
when he's
it's
doing a
like,
shootout.
at least if you're gonna do some shit like that, you start fast and then you slow down. Like once
Yes.
you hit like the dots,
Once you see the goalie react or make a move, that's a lot of what it is you wait for the goalie to move or react to one of your things and then you capitalize on it.
and he was just, I mean, I saw fucking, I mean, Patrick Kane is a tough comparison, but still, like, if you want to be
He's
that top
filthy.
guy, like, you gotta be compared to guys like Patrick Kane or Claude Giroux. Like,
Hmm.
they would do that shit, but actually score. I
Yeah,
don't, I think Tavares scored the first time and never again.
yeah.
It's like, bro, you played with Franz Nielsen for fucking ever. Like, you couldn't pick up one fucking tip, bro.
One move or anything.
One
Yeah,
fucking thing.
that's so facts.
Imagine having right now Franz Nielsen and Kyle Poso getting paid at what they're getting paid. They're both getting they have pretty bad contracts.
How have they been doing?
Trash.
Really?
Oposo just hasn't been like good at all. He definitely suffered from the Tavares effect, where it was
Mm,
playing with this fucking superstar, and then now you're playing with like I don't even think he plays with Jack Eichel, so I don't even
yeah.
know who the fuck he plays with. Franz Nielsen is a little bit better, but
Mm.
it's tough just because Detroit fucking sucks in general.
Now, yeah. I totally forgot about Poso. Who is I forget his name right now. I think we signed from, or maybe he's on Buffalo now. We traded for him.
Griffin Reinhardt,
No.
no.
Fuck. He was a pretty big like name when we got him, and he did shit for us. Like within the past 5 years.
I don't know. Buffalo Sabres in general. I mean, Mike Pekka was a Buffalo Sabre.
I need to look this up.
Mike Pekka, remember him fucking captain for a little bit?
Yes.
He was on the Buffalo Sabres losing team and fuck, what else? Oh, and when the Edmonton Oilers lost to the Hurricanes in the finals, he was on both those losing teams. That fucking sucks, man. I don't think he retired with the Stanley Cup.
I'm looking this up right now.
Robin Leonard was
So
a.
that Travis Hammock trade, fire.
What did we get back for that?
We got a 2018 first round pick, a 2018 second. First off, you know how we were saying before about what we could have gotten for Tavares? Even better than what we said. I think we said a first round pick, a third round pick, and two prospects. We got a first round pick, a second round pick, and a 2019 conditional second round pick for him.
Oh my god, man.
And the Ryan Strome for Jordan Eberle trade,
That
pretty
was a
good.
heat trade. We could have gotten two first round picks for John Tavares.
Yeah, easily.
Well, it's tough because I think Hamonic might have still had some contract left on him because
Mm-hmm.
Tavares was expiring contract. But still, like we're at least getting that first round pick.
Yeah. Why isn't it coming up now? We gave up a good amount for Boychuk too.
Yeah, we had to do something though. I
Two
remember that was
second
like the
round
first
picks.
trade Cart Snow ever made in his fucking career.
Yep.
But we needed fucking Letty and Boydchuk. Like we had nobody. So those two signings, I was like, fuck
That
yeah,
was they
let's
were
fucking
right
go.
after each other too.
Yeah. And then I think we signed Lad at the same time. And I was like, alright, like, not half bad. And then it just never worked out.
I don't even know. I don't know if you would know any of these players that we traded for Nick Letty, or if they're in the league now, or how they're doing.
Sped him off.
Kent Simpson,
Mm,
T.J. Brennan,
no,
Vile Polka,
no.
Anders Nilsson. I know him.
He was the
Wasn't he the goalie?
goalie, yeah.
Yeah.
He was, whatever. I think he just signed an extension somewhere. But it's nothing crazy.
I remember. I just found out who it was now. Who I was thinking. Thomas Vanek.
Thomas Vanek, bro. That was some of the worst trading I've ever seen in my life.
We traded Sebastian Kohlberg and a 2014 conditional second round pick.
And then we traded him to the Canadians, right?
Oh wait. Actually, I lied.
Or we got him from the Canadians.
Okay. Yeah. No. I read it wrong. So we got him in 2013.
Mhm.
We gave up a 2014 first round pick,
Yeah.
Matt Molson,
Yeah.
and a 2015 second round pick.
Yikes.
Let's see. He lasted less than a year,
Mhm.
less than 2 years. We ended up trading him to the Canadians for Sebastian Kohlberg and a second round pick.
That's disgusting. I
Yeah.
remember that shit going down too. And just thinking like Garth Snow needs to like get assassinated right now. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
That was when we started putting up those fucking boards, those Snow Must Go.
Yep.
That was ridiculous that should have to
He
happen, man.
he was terrible. I mean, to give it to him though, actually, he drafted Barzal and Bavilier.
His draft
All the guys
his
that
draft
we,
stuff isn't horrible at like the last part of it,
yeah,
but it's hard to kind of judge it at the same time because it's like
still going
Barzal
on.
actually like I was watching a thing on what had like how the Islanders had got that. Boston
Hmm.
actually moved up in front of us. I think they
Yeah.
had back-to-back picks
Hmm.
and then they still didn't take fucking Matt Barzal. And
Yeah.
everyone was like, all right, I guess they just moved up to take Matt Barzal. And
Yeah.
then they didn't, and then we were like, oh shit, like that's
Yeah.
fucking. I mean, who knows if that's a fucking no-brainer anymore? Cause fucking Garth Snow. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes because it's like you could draft someone, but then he got coached eventually by I mean, his first rookie season was ridiculous.
Hmm.
So he had that pure talent, but also now being with what's his name?
Trotz.
Barry Trotz, yeah, is probably gonna help his career longevity. So he's not like a boom and bust.
Yeah. I think that's another thing too, is that he's relatively stayed. He started off so hot the first year,
Mm.
and this is what his third year in the league,
Yeah, this is
fourth,
his third.
third.
Hmm.
Um, you haven't, obviously, you always expect with a Barry Trotz is such a better coach than
Oh yeah.
Capuano
Oh my god.
that you kind of expect the numbers to spike, and you really haven't seen that. You know, that you want to see your players always like get better and make improvements. I feel like you haven't seen a huge spike in his numbers at least.
I think he'll figure something out eventually.
Mm,
I think that we're creative enough to be able to get something together where we can start getting the pucks in the back of the net. Cause I don't know if it's like if there's a outline that Barry Trout's brought and it's like you have to do this outline, this is it,
mm,
and your players and I just plug you into our formula and this is how we win games.
yeah,
Or if he like has them playing like some leeway with it where it's like, all right, this is what I have, this is the structure I have, and now you're kind of trying to mold like your project together. I don't
yeah,
know what he does, but if it's the former, like him just plugging guys into a system, they gotta change something up to
yeah,
where they start opening up the ice like a little bit. I know you don't want to give up goals, but it's like if you can't score goals, you got to change something.
yeah. I I also think though that when they started going on this like downward spiral towards the end of the season, um, you didn't have Cizikas,
Yeah,
you haven't had I don't believe Clutterbuck.
no,
We lost Pellick in the beginning of the year.
mm-hmm.
Peugeot played what
Like
fucking
fucking
less
three
than 10
games or some
games.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Trying to think who else was
they
hurt.
were playing better though. I think the last game they lost was like a 5-4 loss,
Yeah.
which like it doesn't look great. But it's like you have Andy Green coming in, and now you're at least putting the puck in the net. Like
Hmm.
it's not the outcome you're looking for,
Yeah.
but it was definitely like you could see them like starting to kind of like scrape the bottom of the barrel and start
Yeah.
hopefully coming back up.
It's crazy too. Excuse me. um, that without our 17 game point streak, they would have been very, very
Ooh,
bad
it
this
would have
year.
been fucking rough. The
Yeah.
second after the All Star break, it just has not looked good.
No.
But that's when fucking Pellick got hurt, and that's when everything went to shit.
Yeah.
All right, so imagine Tavares got re-signed.
Hmm.
So you've got your centers as Tavares, Barzal, Brock, and Cizikas. Your left wingers are Bailey, Bavolier, maybe Brassard, and then you got Matt Martin. So that fourth line pretty much stays the same because you got Cal on the other side.
Hmm.
And then your third line will be like Brock Brassard and like Dow Cole or some shit like that. And then this is where it starts getting tricky. You'll have Barzal, Bavolier. You probably don't have Eberle anymore. So I don't know who would go into that spot. And then you have Bailey, and you might not even have Lee. Or you'd probably have Lee, but not be able to like sign
Hmm.
Barzal. Or you'd probably have to let go of some of your. There'd be a lot of issues. But let's
Yeah.
just say that that was the thing. You know, you had Tavares, Bailey, Lee, Barzal, Bavolier, and say
Yeah.
fucking Tom Kuhnhackl or Andrew Ladd.
Hmm.
Brock Brassard and Dow Cole, and then the regular fourth line, regular defense. Where do you
Hmm.
think the Islanders are?
Um, to be honest, I really don't see them any differently than where they are right now. I don't
You don't think that
think
he would help like with the fucking goal scoring?
he would, but it's hard to say.
It's weird because the way that he went out too was not like the cleanest.
Yeah.
He went out like really not trying, like
Yeah.
quitting on plays, quitting in overtime, like
A lot of
not
people
hustling.
said, I don't know how true you think it is, but after he got hurt in the Olympics, that
Hmm.
it kind of seemed like he stopped trying as hard. Which a lot of people, I heard a couple of people say that. And then you also have people, obviously, who say, how can you say that? I mean, the guy scored the game winner, the game tying, and then the game winning goal against the Panthers, and
Still
all
produced
those
every
play.
season and shit.
Yeah, yeah,
It's weird, and I couldn't imagine that like him going away into
hmm
an like international competition and then coming back to the Islanders to be like, oh
yeah,
fuck this. I don't know. Maybe it was like his rehab. Like maybe he wasn't huge about the way his rehab was done, but he looks
yeah,
fine to me. Fucking,
yeah,
I think it was his ACL that went,
hmm
which really isn't like the hardest recovery
yeah,
to come off of nowadays. Like nowadays, bro, I could put someone through a fucking ACL rehab. Like,
yeah.
it's not fucking rocket science.
hmm I don't know. I really don't think, even though right now, um, they need a bunch of goal scoring, and Tavares wasn't even that bad of a defender too. He was definitely a two-way player. Um,
Especially if he bought in. That's the thing. I don't. Who knows if he would have ended up buying in, or if there would have been
that's
maybe.
another thing that I think the Islanders, or I don't even know if they looked into, but Tavares during that year could have said, "I'll sign 1 year. I'll give Lamoriello and Trotz a shot. Give me like fucking 14 million a year. Let me see how it goes, and then let me hit free agency again, 13, 12, whatever. A
That's
little
yeah.
bit more a year.
See that the only thing that sucks with that is if he had just taken a 1 year contract, it's kind of like the same thing that like Le'Veon Bell doesn't like with the
Yeah,
franchise tagging because it's the 1 year without like the long term stability.
yeah.
So it's
And
not
what if he gets hurt again?
yeah, it's not ideal, but I could understand him signing a shorter term contract.
Yeah,
But at that point, like, if you're gonna get paid, like, you want to get the full guaranteed
yeah,
7, 8 years. He would have gotten an extra year. It would have been 8 years, 11
yeah.
and like a half million or something like that.
Yep.
I think it came out. It might have been just 11 flat, or it was.
I'm pretty sure it was 8 years, 88 million.
hmm I think that's what he took, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it was either way. He was getting that fucking
yeah,
7 or 8 years. So he maybe you could have gotten like Panarin numbers, which is it's crazy that Panarin got paid more than him
he should.
because as like a I mean he's just younger and like has I guess he hasn't done less shit because Tavares really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
He's got
I don't
one.
think that he's coming off of a. I mean, like you said, Tavares' injury, he seemed to fare well after it.
Hmm,
But I don't think that Panarin has ever been seriously injured. Like you said, he's younger, and he's a hell of a player,
he's
Panarin.
eating up fucking New York City right now.
Yeah, yeah,
They are having a fucking ball with him.
yeah.
Ryan Strome too is having a great time in New York City.
Yep.
I mean,
Fuck him.
fuck him, cause like, but also like, fuck it, cause we traded him for Jordan Eberle.
I'll take
So
it. Yeah.
like, best to him
They
once he
just play
like gets off the
fast.
Rangers, but fuck him for now.
Yeah. They just play fast.
I don't know. I think the Islanders are still like third in the Metro, even with John Tavares. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put him above. It's that would be your crazy duo centers though, like Crosby and Malkin. You got the
hmm
fucking guy who can
Yeah.
play fast, play like crafty, and he could Barzal could even be like the fucking crybaby bitch type of dude.
hmm
And then you have the other side, which Malkin is also a crybaby bitch, but you could have what in our case would be like the firmer guy who's like goes out in the goal scorer, and that would be great. Like I don't know if compliments. I don't
Yeah.
think at the moment they would be better than Penguins because both those guys are still fucking hauling ass.
Yeah.
But the Caps maybe, but the Caps are just so good.
Yeah.
They're just so fucking good. But all this fucking the Hurricanes wouldn't even be in the picture. The
No,
fucking Flyers. Actually, the Flyers have been kicking ass the last couple fucking weeks, man.
they have.
Going out into the season,
They were
like
killing it.
they were having a fucking day. They went
Yep.
from like fucking fifth in the division to like second.
Yeah. I don't even know what happened to the Devils either. Devils had that one great year when Hall won the MVP.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They
then
just
shit.
I don't even I don't even know. I don't even can't even tell you like the guys on their team. I feel like they've had
No,
some
me
guys
neither.
forever who have just been sitting there. Like
Yeah.
Do you remember David Clarkson?
No.
I think he was number 23, and he was like their like bruiser brawler guy. He always fought against Sean Avery.
Mhm.
So he would played for the Devils for a while. He's actually on Toronto right now,
Mhm.
and they paid him like $5.3 million to be there, which I guess is not great because I think that's a Lou Lamoriello contract.
Yeah.
But that was a disgusting fucking contract.
Damn.
So at least we don't have contracts like that. I mean, we do in Lad, but
Yeah. Every
Lad at
team
least like
does.
had some type of real fucking
Not
shit to
just
him.
a physical type guy. Yeah.
It was fucking ridiculous. But I don't know. I think we still lose against the Bruins. I think we still lose against the
The,
Lightning.
the Bruins have seen for the past like 5 years to always have our number somehow.
Always. They play the same game, just better than us
Yeah.
and cheaper.
Yep.
But they
They
have those
always kill
guys,
us.
which is crazy when I looked at this the other day. Pasternak is only like 23, 24 years old.
Really.
Bro, he's stupid young.
I
And
did not
he's
know
ridiculous.
that. I had no idea.
Yeah, he's young as shit right now. I think this, I think he is coming off of the same contract. Let me
Mhm.
see real quick. I think he's coming off of the same contract that
It was
Barzal was,
Barzal.
and
Yeah.
now he's getting, which is like exactly like he doesn't perform like a $6.5 million per year player,
Mhm.
but because you're an RFA, that's kind of what you get.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't even spell this guy's name, man. It's
Pasternak.
fucking disgusting. 6 year, 40 million. I can't do math.
6 years, 40 million.
Yeah, 6.66.
Yeah.
Damn, 666. He's the devil. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're looking at, it was a 6 year. I don't know if Barzal signed 6 year, maybe 5 year the most. But I don't.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that he'll really get anywhere with that. And then if we make the Letty's trade, sign everyone to like those roundabout numbers, we'll have $3 million in cap space, which is about what we have now. I don't think you really have to sign anyone in free agency
Yeah.
unless someone's trying to like Jason Spezza's this year for the Toronto.
Uh.
He's like an old veteran who was just like, yeah, I'll sign 700 fucking K just to try to win a cup,
Yeah.
which is something that I would have fucking loved. Jason Spezza's the fucking man. But I'm fucking glad that fucking guy's gone. Fuck that guy. I'm gonna see if Connor wants to. What are you doing? Are you trying to stay? It's oh my god, it's 2 in the morning.
Yeah. I'm chilling.
No, let me just fucking FaceTime him.
What is he doing?
No, no, no,
Have you
probably
hit him
checking
up
it.
before?
Yo, did you ever watch Midnight Falls or Midnight Gospel,
No.
bro?
What is it?
It's this guy Clancy,
Mhm.
and Clancy runs his own podcast with Spacecast. He
Mhm.
goes into this vagina-looking thing, sticks his head in, and gets put through to simulated universes,
Yeah.
and he goes through like each individual planet and has a podcast with someone, and that someone is like a real person who's a guest, but they go through like a podcast, but there's like shit going on, so you can kind of watch the shit,
Mhm.
or you can kind of just like watch the podcast or listen to the podcast.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's fucking wavy, and the last one was my favorite fucking. It was tough to watch, man. It was like him with his mom, and it was like 3 weeks before his mom had passed away because she
Mhm.
had like some super crazy cancer, and then it was like he was like he was on the Joe Rogan podcast and was like explaining like his fucking shit, and it was like heartbreaking. I was like, holy fuck, man, because they talk about on the podcast like they're like coming together like about her death and how it should because she's a psychologist also,
Mhm.
and this dude is on crazy drugs, so they have like a deep conversation about like what he should do when she dies and shit.
Mhm.
I cried. I was like, this is ridiculous.
That sounds nuts.